All right, guys. Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. Looking forward to a great night, some great learning tonight. But I do have on with me right away, I have Don Martin, director, all around good guy that you guys all probably know. And I have on with me, look at this, I'm going to say it right, Suchi Bao. Did I say it right? Pronounce it? Supervising coordinator, future director.
That's right.
With us, and both of them hit the what are you going to do with the dash challenge. See, we don't have to be great at technology. What we have to be great at is building the business, right? That's what you three are all great at. It is my honor tonight to be on with you guys. We're at a great time right now. It's August 2nd. The event starts the 24th, really the 23rd. There's a lot of stuff going on that Wednesday. And we're moving into an incredible time. Now, what we've been doing every Wednesday, for those of you, some of you may have been on, some of you may not have been on, but we have been doing a meeting with people who hit the what are you going to do with your dash challenge. And we've been getting some tips from them about the challenge and about Icon. Now, that challenge ended on Friday. We have a record number of challenge winners. Have you guys heard this yet? My panelists, have you heard the number yet? 195 people hit this challenge around the world. And I got to tell you, this was not an easy challenge, right? You guys know that it was sponsor 3. It was 3,000 BV. It was 300 IBV. It was purchase 3 tickets to the event. It was listen to audios, and it was all had to be done in a 90-day window. And we did it in 90 days because that's the way JR always taught us to go forward. So it's really an exciting time. I should probably say I'm Jim Winkler. I'm the Vice President of Sales with the company. I was so excited to introduce you guys. I forgot, but you're the stars. So that's what it's all about. So let me start off with, I'll start off with an order I had you on today. So Suchi, tell me, why did you make the commitment? Because I know you made a commitment to go for the what are you going to do with the dash challenge?
Hi, everybody. My name is Siqi. So the reason why I started this challenge is JR's dream is always to fill out the arena with directors, right? So reach the level of directors is one of my main goals in this business. So to achieve this goal, hitting all the challenges is a shortcut, right? Why not? So in addition, by building this business, doing all the challenges is leading by example. So basically to showing myself and my team and keep working, it's very important. Thank you.
Good. Stay on with me for a second. Suchi, why don't you tell me where you're from, how long you've been with the business, and give a little background, okay?
Okay. Everybody, I'm coming from sunny San Diego, from California. So in 2016, I came to the US as an international student, just simply because I want to lose weight. So I tried our 7-day detox product and I lost more than 10 pounds within a month. So the first thought coming to my mind is, if I can lose weight, my customers can lose weight. So that's the simple reason why I started this business. By doing this business in the past 4 years, I met a lot of my business mentors, learned everything like communicative skills and a lot of like retail skills. I really learned a lot. Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you. All right, Don, let's go to you next. Why don't we start off with, I know a lot of people know you, but your background and how you got started, how long you've been doing the business, and then we'll walk into what made you make this commitment to go for this. What are you going to do with the Dash Challenge?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Jim. I appreciate it. Honored, bro. Firstly, Don Martin. I live in New Hope, Pennsylvania. And I just passed on July 9th. It was my 24th year anniversary with the company. It's interesting. I've been in the business more than half of my life now, because I'm 47. I just hit 24 years. And it's been an honor and a blessing for sure. And and a great developmental process for me, just as a human being, as a person who really likes to pour into other people. It's been awesome. But I started this business by accident. I was accidentally introduced to the business because my accountant, I was in roofing at the time. I was doing a roofing and construction business in my early 20s. And my accountant owned a bunch of real estate that he was giving me referrals for to do construction work for. And I didn't want him to stop. I wasn't interested in what I thought this was. I had a lot of preconceived notions, but the reason why I looked was because I didn't want him to stop giving me referrals. So I took a look at the business to support him because he was supporting me, and I got accidentally interested. And long story short, 3 weeks later, I went to the ICON, the International Convention, because he wouldn't let me get in unless I did. And that was the magic moment for me, and the rest is history. And
oh, that is great. Don, I mean, you've had a lot of success. You've been doing this a while, you and your beautiful wife, Lisa. What made you decide to make that commitment to go for this challenge? Because it was a commitment, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like when I first saw it come out, the one thing I know is we used to have the Chairman's Challenge, and the Chairman's Challenge was always to show people, number one, it was to honor J.R. Reidinger, the chairman and CEO of the company, just show that we support his vision, and we honor his challenge to people that he's given so much to us from his creation and building this model. Just show him that we are on board, and now more than ever, since we lost him since last year's convention, to me it was not even an option to not hit this. It was just like, I'm going to make this happen because for my mentor J.R. Reidinger and friend, there was no way I wasn't going to do it. But simultaneously too, it's about leading by example. I mean, you have to inspect what you expect. You cannot expect anybody to do something that you're not willing to do yourself. And I don't care how big and people get in the business and how successful they are and how much money they make. This is always about leading by example and doing the work so that you lead other people by your example. And that was the two things this was. But I got to be honest with you. I said I was going to hit it. But the interesting thing was, Jim, you and I were on the phone. If you remember, we were talking and you said, I think you hit that. I wasn't even looking. I was just on a mission to build the business and get things done. And I was going to go back and recheck. And you had said, oh, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, you just hit it. I'm like, oh, really? I wasn't even paying attention. I was just doing what it takes to build the business anyway. And it happened automatically. So that made my day. And obviously I wasn't going to not hit it no matter what.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Well, congratulations on your success with that. And doing the challenge was put together to do what you're supposed to do, like you said, and you were doing it. And by the way, this is the Chairman's Challenge. What are you going to do with the Dash Challenge? So it's the Chairman's Challenge as well. Mm-hmm. Wallis, welcome, my friend. Give us a little background on how you started the business and how long you've been doing it and how everything's going, please.
Thank you so much for letting me share. And like Don said, you don't have to be smart to run this business, even if you have an IT background, right? so yes, my name is Walis Aboumon. I was born and raised in Benin, West Africa. So I moved to this country in 2008 for the American dream. Like a lot of people, a lot of immigrants moved to this country. I came across this business in 2014. By a great friend of mine, Brett Portelli. But prior to that, I was actually just graduated from IT from Drexel University in Philadelphia, and I was working. I think for me, the reason why I started this business was just I just didn't really like to be controlled by someone else. I know a lot of people, you're shaking your head because you can relate to that feeling of being micromanaged by your boss. And I just couldn't do it. I saw myself doing it for a short period of time, but 10, 20, 30 years, I couldn't. I saw people at the age of 70, 60 years old, being an engineer, being a programmer. I was like, I don't see myself coding at that age. People back home where I'm from, being a third world country, that I really want to contribute. So when I saw this, it was no brainer. Brett and I connected to a mutual friend that I went to college with. And when Brett showed me this, I was like, yes, let's do this. It made sense to me, online shopping, e-commerce, and holistic product that we have as well that help people. So it was just no brainer. So I'm really grateful for him, and he connected me to Mark Bernanke as well. So both of them has been mentoring me since I started this business. But of course, in this business, and I have a day that I sign up, and I have the day that I started the business.
That's right.
So when I decided, it was like close to 3 years period before I really decided to start my business after I started in 2014. When I really saw that, well, this is really something that I can do, and I decided to go for this challenge because honestly, it was like always the thing that I will go for a challenge, especially the chairman challenge that JR put in place. I've always had that in my radar to go, but I've never, just like went for it, and, being part of Philadelphia, then we have a couple of people who actually broke that ceiling, a lot of people who have done it. And I was like, I mean, it's my time for me to go for a challenge now. It's my time to be serious about this. And what a better time to do that, I made that decision when I was sitting down at leadership school, and I was like, I have to do this, I didn't know how I'm gonna make it work. All I knew is like, I'm gonna go back home, I'm gonna go back to Philly, and I'm gonna put a game plan together to make this work. So, started doing this, and I think it was like when I started, the sponsorship was pretty cool. It was pretty okay. And then it was during like Ocean City, we went to the conference that Brett looked at me and he looked at his watch, he's like, the time is ticking, man. Because he can see my back office. He knows what was missing and I think that's really where I just like went, straight, and I did more activities to get the other part, which is like the BV and IBV as well done as well. So it was no brainer. JR put this in place for us to achieve success, and it's also master UFO *2 anyway. So I mean,
It is.
Yeah. So.
Well, congratulations to all of you. I mean, it was a big thing to hit this. And I know it meant a lot to everybody on the corporate team to see people really striving to do this and to honor JR. But I also know it wasn't easy. And Wallis, I'll go right back to you. What kind of obstacles did you run into while you were trying to hit this, while you were going for the challenge?
Right. That's and obstacle will come, especially when you go for a challenge. Like I said, I didn't know how I'm gonna do this. But for me, it was the belief that I could do it, and JR mentioned this all the time. It's like, do you believe that you can actually do this? And I think that was my thing. I was like, okay, I saw this, I saw the 3000 BV. I was like, it was already a challenge, sometimes to hit the 1500 because, like just getting customer order and everything. And I was like, now it's like ×2 and you got to do it in 90 days. So you got to find ways to make this work. And I was kind of really being creative a little bit. I started reaching out to a few of my good customers, which is my cousins, who was really helpful. And I asked her to help me put some product party together. We went and did some, the layered, because I realized that it's a good BV ratio as well. So, we started like, promoting a little bit more of the layers. So I did some BV when it comes to that. But I was being creative. I was like, there's no way I'm not going to make this work, especially when you have your mentor as well, like looking at his work and telling you like, listen, man, we got to hit this, man. But it was, like I said, it was no brainer. I had to make it work, but it was the biggest challenge was the belief, believing that I could do it, believing I can go hard for it, believing I can find ways to be creative. And I think like, in any challenge that we have, it's like, make a decision first, have the belief, and then like, the rest is going to come.
Well, I think you're 1000% right on that about belief. And I also love where you said you got creative and it forced you to push out and ask other people to do product shows for you, to invite people to learn about our products, because I think sometimes we can take it sort of easy, but it sounds like you went outside that comfort zone and made it happen. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Suchi, I'll go to you next and tell us, what were some of your obstacles in hitting this?
Yeah, obstacles, like I think everybody will meet obstacles, but the most important is how we overcome it and keep doing what we should to do. So I think the biggest obstacles for me is how to balance the time, like to meet people, to book appointments, to show plan that needs massive action and massive appointments, right? So how did I overcome this obstacle? I think I just took some time to go over in my brain what's the most important things on my to-do list and what I can cut off, So like, is it a result producing activity? This meeting, do I sell products or do I sell tickets, or am I showing the plan? So ask myself all those questions. Like time, we have a saying, time is like a water in the sponge. If you squeeze it hard enough, you'll get more out of it, right? So I just took out some of my leisure time, like watching movies, like shopping with girls, like turn them into massive result producing activities. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, that is great. And you actually hit the challenge on one of the last couple of days. I remember we had talked about this earlier in the year, and you said, I'm going to go for it. You hit it one of the very last couple. You were showing massive plans the last month to get that done. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Don, let's go to you. What obstacles did you run into? And I don't know, yours, I guess, will have to be like general obstacles, because you were just rolling along doing what you always do. So what are the obstacles you hit on a regular basis? You're on mute, Don.
Good job, Martin. Anyway, we've only been doing Zoom for what, years and years now. But yeah, for me, that you're exactly right, Jim. Like I was building, and I was building hard. The obstacles for me that happened in this process was I had to make sure I focused on personal production. Because when you have a team that gets the size of mine and it's growing, and you have so much growth happening, and I was traveling to California with that team. I was traveling to Ohio. I literally went to Ohio and back, 8 new partners in the last 24 hours. Just today, I got home an hour ago or whatever it was. And then New Jersey, a whole new team that's got 70 new people. It's crazy. So obviously, you're doing as much you can to support and guide, but you can never take the eye off the ball. And that is your example is always most important, because people will follow you. So the challenge for me was making sure that I stayed focused on my personal production. And I really focused on that to make sure. And that's what made it happen automatically, because I knew that I don't want to set an example of like management mode philosophy that can happen when you have a lot of things happen in your group where you end up taking your eye off the prize of your own personal production. But if you stay focused and you do your personal production, which is what I really focused on doing here, that was the challenge, because I didn't have a lot of time, but I made it work. And then traditionally, there's all types of normal challenges. Everybody has them. And I mean, if you think you're going through a challenge and you don't think anybody else had it, you're wrong. If you're going through a challenge, building a business, everybody else experienced the same challenge you did. But if they won, they decided to keep going anyway.
No, that is great. And, I think for any leader, you said the most important thing, and your people look to you. Yep. And it's not what you tell them, it's what you do. And obviously the 3 of you and the other 192 people who hit this, that you're leading by example, which is tremendous. Don, I'm going to come right back to you. You knew JR personally, you'd been around him quite a bit. What was one of the biggest lessons that impacted you either in your business or in your life that you learned from JR?
It's tough to even talk about. I mean, I had an opportunity and was blessed to spend a lot of time with him, over the last 3-4 years. I didn't have my sponsor quit, and then his sponsor quit, and then his sponsor died, which was my original mentor in the business early on. He ended up passing away. So I worked my tail off just to be able to get time with him. And then he just became my mentor, and we really connected. And one of the things that I learned from him, the biggest lesson, was that to just be yourself. I mean, he was the same person, whether he was on stage in front of 25,000 people or sitting with you across the table having dinner. I mean, the same person. He was fun. He was funny. He was introverted, which too. But when he would finally get out of it, and just like get into the conversation, it was the most humble honor. It was someone that I wanted to emulate because of how much he cared about other people. And he always put and prioritized people's needs first. He was a servant leader, and I really learned that from him heavily.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Wallis, let's go to you. And what did you pick up? What did JR, how did he impact your life or business? Either one is fine.
Absolutely. I mean, I think JR was like someone who changed my whole mindset. I think the first time I heard about paradigm shift was from JR. I grew up really not, I mean, having like a role model, which is my father, but didn't really have someone else that I could look up to when it comes to like, financial advice, or someone who really knows where to go in life, right? And just being around Brett and Mark, and just like I was able to see him as well, often because of sometimes backstage as well, with you, Jim, and just like his charisma, like the way he always like builds some people up, right? I know people always say he has ways to always bring you up and always find the good in you, and hence why he said I believe in you all the time, because he does really believe in people. But his whole way of seeing life and the reprogramming of your mindset to be where you can be in life, it's something that I really, really love, because by changing the way you think, by changing your thought, you become something else. And like, and I didn't realize how the environment that we're around can influence us. And he made me realize that, and for me, I was so grateful to see him, and because a lot of people who will come now won't have that chance. So it's really, really important that I always pay gratitude to him, no matter how I can do it, by just going for these challenges, by actually showing up to event, by carrying the legacy, because he had done so much for all of us here, and showing us that we can become whatever we want. Everything is in our mind, everything that we want is in our mind. So, it's really cool to have someone like that in your life that, and thank God we can go back to audios or videos to listen to him again. But, he has been someone who changed my whole mindset.
As you were saying that, I was thinking what you just said. I said, thank goodness that we have the videos, we have the audios. So the people coming on board now have the ability to continue to learn from him, because what he taught was really timeless. He talked about what are you going to do with your dash for 20 some years. I was with him 25 years. I heard it every year. What are you going to do with your dash? His philosophy was always very simple, and it was have a lot of fun, work hard, and build something for yourself. And he really lived what he talked about. Suchi, what would you say the biggest thing that JR impacted you in either life or business?
Yeah, so I learned many lessons from JR, of course, like the starfish, like the brain surgery, and all of them have huge impact on my life. But the most important in my mind is the dash lesson. Like before I heard this from JR, I never thought about, like in my whole life, I never thought about this. Like we all have a birth date and we all have a death date, but the dash in between is what's made the most important things for us. Like what we contribute to this world, what we left behind for like the important people in our life. So after I heard of that lesson, I don't want to be Joe Nobody, I think no one wants to be Joe Nobody. So I want to be a successful business woman, and I want to have the ability to support my family. I want to own my own time, and I want to be influential, as younger generation. I don't want to work 45 years for somebody else to make other people's dream come true, but me. So I want to help more people to achieve their goals too. So I think this business model really helped me and thousands of ordinary people that we can all achieve our dreams. Thank you.
That was great. That was great. I've got let's do one final question, team, and let's talk about Icon a little bit. And Wallace, I'll start off with you. Do you feel people should attend Icon? I almost feel funny asking you guys that because I know what you're going to say. And I guess tell us how the big events like an Icon or a leadership school have affected your business in your life.
Yeah, it's a funny question, Jim. I mean, because like the real question is that why wouldn't you attend?
Right? Why wouldn't you? Yeah, I agree.
I mean, honestly, first of all, you guys do a lot to put this event together, right? And it's not for you guys; it's for us. So we need to kind of go and fill our mind and recharge, right? Because when you 6 months, it's a long time to be drained, right? Your battery get drained, so you need to go back and be recharged. But I mean, it was said earlier that we want, JR wanted to fill this arena with director, right? And the only way that we can do that is by actually just going and going and going and bringing more people with us. I remember my first event when I went. I mean, if I didn't go, I don't know if I'm gonna still be here because Brett and Mark told me about this, and I just didn't see how this is gonna work for me. But when I went and I saw people, my background, or people who couldn't even speak the language, you know, but they were making money, they were making impact, they were actually helping others, they were crying, they were joy. There was a lot of stuff happening, and I was like, I mean, if some of those people can make this happen, why not me? You know, I mean, we are all here just for that American dream. We're all here to create something for ourselves. We're all here to add value to others. So if they can do it, then I mean, I can. And the thing is, like, having that belief. I mean, Jihad talked about it. It's all about building that belief in yourself. And the only way you can see this is seeing other people making it happen. So absolutely grab your ticket. You need to be there. And I know you guys are prepping something really important this year. So it's going to be really something that you don't want to miss for sure.
That is right. Well, thank you. Thank you. Suchi, I'll come back to you on this. So why do you feel that UFOs need to attend ICON, and how have the major events affected you as well?
Yeah. So back to your question, should we go to the event? It's a must-go event, right? Yeah. Because it's named ICON. So it's like 2 to 3 weeks left. And like a few weeks ago, Mark gave us a preview. I heard some of the information he gave us. That's amazing, you know, like we'll cover like in the past 6 months, everybody is talking about AI, you know, like it's very hot on the market, and we're gonna cover that in our training, you know, in our agenda. How can we leverage AI to build our business? That's huge, because our company is always keep up with the trend. Also, the most important thing is we are building an e-commerce company, e-commerce business. If we don't go to the event, how can we keep ourselves on the trend? What we learn from this, right? Like whenever Apple is launching a new iPhone, thousands of people wants to pay the money to be at the launching conference. It's the same thing. We're our own business owner. We're launching new products, new technology as well. And what's our future plans? So we have to go, like not only by ourselves, bring our teammates with us. Right. It's a huge event. We have to be there.
That's right. Oh, great. All right, Mr. Martin, I'm going to go to you with the same questions and let you be the cleanup hitter here on should we be there, and what's it done for you?
Well, I'll just start with what it did for me. I mean, I wasn't going to go. When I first heard about this business, I definitely wasn't going to go because I was in roofing, I was in construction, and it was August. And I made a lot of money during the summertime because that's when you make money and when you're in the roofing business. But my accountant, two things had happened. My accountant forced me to buy a ticket or else he wouldn't let me register. It was the smartest thing that ever happened to me. It was a requirement. If he wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have gone. And he cared enough, and this is the key, I want you guys to get this. He loved me enough and cared about me enough to make sure that I bought that ticket before I registered. Because if he did, and I knew it was uncomfortable for him because he was afraid that, you know, it could be, but he knew it was that important. I was still not going to go though. A lot of people don't know that. I bought the ticket because I wanted to get in, but I still wasn't going to go. But because I spent that money on that ticket, I said, well, that ticket was burning a hole in my pocket, if that makes sense. You know, I knew I had to go because I bought it, and I'm like, if I don't do something, if I want something different, I have to do something different. And I really saw what was possible here. All right, let me rephrase. I thought I saw what was possible here, but when I went to that first convention, I realized I didn't know anything. I didn't have a clue what this business was. I didn't have an inkling about the magnitude and the possibilities that this business brought. And I went down thinking I'd make some money and do okay with this business. But it put me 6 months to a year ahead of everybody else that didn't go. And it also put me in the mind, I got trained, I got the opportunity to network with other people. I realized that nobody that made it big was any smarter than me. And I got a chance to see the heartbeat of the company. And that's what the icon really has, is the heart and the heartbeat of the company. And you realize what you have behind you and all you need to do is put in the work, and the rest gets done because of the system and the team and the company and the support that you get exposed to at the icon. So to me, it's a non-negotiable if you want to make money. Now, if you don't want to make a lot of money, you just want to be a little part-timer here, that's your choice, right? You decide if you want to go, but you just got to figure out a way to do that, to be there. And in 24 years, I've never missed one, and I won't miss another one for another 24 years. Anybody that wants it, I make sure that they get it the same way. I promise you, anybody that goes, even if you got to twist their arm a little bit, they'll thank you for it once they're there. And I promise you that.
That's right. Well, those were great tips. I'm going to tell you guys a couple other things. I think, one, if between now and this event, you're bringing somebody into the business and they don't have enough money to go to Icon, I'd rather have them go to Icon than start their business if I have a choice between the two. If they only can do one or the other, I want to get them to the major event. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I hope I can do both, but if it's, there's reality with sometimes it's one or the other. I'm going to get them there. The other thing I'm going to tell you is you need to load up on appointments coming out of there. By Thursday night, I'm going to say this, by Thursday night, people are going to be itching to get home and be building, because we're going to give you so much right away on Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday get better. But by Thursday night, you're going to be like, oh, I need to get a hold of people. I need to book. So book your appointments, stack them up, get them done, and go into the event flying with doing a lot of things, and come out of it with a full appointment book, and you will have the best 90 days, 6 months, year of your life, and you'll create something very special. You guys are great. I am so proud of all of you for what you accomplished and what you're going to accomplish, what you're doing, and the lives you're changing as you're leading the way for everybody with this. So I'd like to say, thanks for being with me and sharing this. I'm going to try to get this out to as many people as I can, because I want them to see the three of you and what you've done and how they can do it, and how we can get one more person to the big event, 2 more people to the big event coming up. And all we got to do is make those personal phone calls. And Don, you said something. You said he loved me enough to get me there. Love your people enough to get them there.
That's right.
Have a great night, and thank you so much for your time, guys. And I can't wait to see you live at Icon. Okay.
Let's go. Thank you, Jim.
Let's go. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.